Hey everyone, welcome back to We Are Chattin, your Penn State Brandywine podcast. We're your hosts, Ava Clements
and Natalie DeMario.
And today we are chatting with Addison Stanton.
Addy is a second-year student, member of the women's soccer team, and co-president of the math club.
Addy, welcome to We Are Chattin.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump right in. From what we hear, you've come a long way to attend Penn State Brandywine. What kind of led you here for college?
Well, I always wanted to go to Penn State. Both my parents actually went to Penn State, and both were born and raised in Delco. I guess my dad was raised more towards Lancaster, but my mom actually ended up going to Brandywine for 2 years and then transitioned up to University Park. So it was kind of like, well, I can either, head up to University Park immediately, blow out tons of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I could, hang around Penn State Delco, as she would be so glad to hear me say.
Former name.
Right, exactly. And hang out to, still have family in the area. So, get to actually spend time with my, grandpa, uncles, whatnot. Because, coming from Vegas, they don't really make it out there too often.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So you have family here.
Yeah.
Even though your parents and you have a sister?
Yeah.
Even though your parents and your sister, they're in Nevada.
Yeah. So we're like the only, I guess, main kind of family unit that is out on the West Coast.
Okay.
My dad ended up getting a job. He graduated with the turf grass management with Penn State and whatnot. So he got an internship out on Las Vegas Boulevard at the Wynn golf course, and then
That's great.
It was only supposed to be 5 years, and then they had me. So that born and raised Las Vegas. Here we go.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it's neat. So they're out there, but they're definitely coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So both your parents are Penn State grads, and they were like, "Yeah, you have to go to Penn State."
Yeah,
So
basically
we're shipping you off to PA.
Yeah.
I was born, and then they put a Penn State shirt on me. Basically.
Yeah,
It was like brainwashing from the get.
Yep. Bleeding blue and white.
Yep.
Yeah,
For sure.
exactly.
Yep.
Immediately. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We're happy to have you here.
Glad to be here.
So you're in aerospace engineering major, and can you explain a little bit about that major and why you gravitated towards picking it?
Yeah, so I was actually just talking with Dr. Lawler upstairs, and I told him, I was like, listen, I was thinking of doing an astrophysics major, but I really didn't want to just sit there and do research all day. And I'm like, I need to build things. I need to be doing things. So I said, what's the next best thing? Aerospace engineering. So that's kind of my main choice. I had a physics teacher in high school too, that actually really, inspired me to head towards engineering. She was an electrical engineer, and she was always pretty cool. And, she helped me not only understand physics, but understand that math is a tool. It's not something that you just go and memorize how to do it and just do it because you have to. It's more of something that you can apply to whatever you're trying to do and get, something cool out of it. So that, when you're bored in high school, algebra, geometry, whatnot, you're like, why am I doing this? This is stupid. Most of the time it is in high school, but then, you get to college and you kind of see things be applied more. And she kind of, planted that idea in my head of math being a tool. So
That's interesting.
That's kind of why I came to be an
Yeah.
aerospace engineering major.
Aerospace engineer. I mean, that's we're comm majors, so
Right.
totally out of our league there. But
Yes.
what kind of work do you kind of find as an aerospace engineering major?
Yeah, so that's another crazy thing is it's definitely a little bit harder. It's kind of a branch off of mechanical engineering.
Okay.
So it's definitely more focused, but so with me, I'm just I'm lazy, don't feel like really applying for the job hunt. So I totally am going Air Force ROTC all the way.
Wow.
And so they'll just, be like, all right, here you go work on this. And I'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the, I guess, thought process there. But yeah, Air Force ROTC, that's a whole nother discussion I'm sure we'll have later.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that's kind of what led me to do it. It's definitely, like I said, a little bit more of a narrow job. I don't even know what the word is, but definitely harder to find a job right out the bat.
So it seems a little bit more, with the aerospace engineering, a little bit more hands-on.
Yeah, it's a like I said, it's like you're getting. I think the first 2 years start exactly as any engineering major, really, except for I guess like electrical. They do a lot more of like with the tiny stuff that you can't see, so it's
Right.
boring. So why be an electrical engineer when you can be a mechanical or aerospace engineer?
Yeah,
But subtle diss.
absolutely.
But I think it's as hands-on as most engineering majors, but it's just again more focused towards that kind of subset, which is flying machines, because again
Yeah.
we need to fly. It's
Right.
so cool.
Yeah.
So
That is cool.
but
It's interesting.
yeah.
Never flown, but
It's on
you know,
Natalie's list. We're
it's
trying to
it's
get her
on there. We'll get
Wait,
there.
You've never
No.
really
No, never been in a plane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Yeah, we'll get there.
yeah. Let me know, and I'll walk you through the whole thing. It's
right.
great.
There you
Okay.
go.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, because you have such a unique major, you have the opportunity to finish your last 2 years at University Park.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to, most about that transition?
I think honestly, there's a lot I look forward to, but then it's very bittersweet, because it's kind of like you set up camp around here, and you got your little group of friends that you love just hanging around and dragging into stupid stuff and doing all that with. But then it's like you go up to University Park. There's obviously a lot more opportunity up there, and I think that's what I'm looking most forward to is kind of getting involved with more advanced engineering groups, doing stuff that I can that'll help hone in on my own personal skills. And also the library, that thing is epic.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I've heard.
I am like really looking forward to like walking in there and just honestly being in there all the time. So I think that is one of my top points.
Wow.
But
It's a great answer.
I know. Super nerdy, but
No, that's okay.
No,
That's okay.
we welcome that. We love that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
I'd
Yeah.
love to be in a library too.
Yeah.
yeah, it's great. I mean, no hate to the Brandywine Library, but it doesn't get much better than that massive hunk of building at Penn State. So
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, and I think
Great
because,
library journey.
and because we don't, you can't finish aerospace engineering here,
Right.
for 4 years.
Yeah.
There definitely is more opportunities for that major.
Yeah,
at
100%.
the main campus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess to kind of go off of that, we also understand that you're part of the United States Air Force ROTC program.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the program and how you will act as an aid in your future career plans?
Yeah, so I know I kind of talked about how it's going to help me, get into that job market. But it kind of was something that I always wanted to do in high school. I mean, I guess that's when I began thinking about it. And I was like, well, I feel like this is a good idea. I like to, keep moving, stay active, and not be bored, really.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, this could be good. And it's very competitive, too. And I need a competitive kind of base because at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know. I feel like I work better with competition. It makes me push myself more, for sure.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of what led me to that decision. And it has made me a better leader. It's made me understand how people work more, and it's definitely just given me a lot of tools to use, not only when I commission into the Air Force, but just to apply in general life. Like, if you don't take care of your own team, then your team isn't going to be productive. So it's just little stuff like that you pick up on, and it takes you farther than I think just your basic education here. I feel like, you learn a little bit more just life skills on top of all of that, military skills and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess for our listeners who don't really know what the program is, like, how do you sort of enroll? Like, is that enrolled through Penn State Brandywine?
Yeah,
Or
so
do you
it's-
go out to like classes?
Yeah. So it's actually interesting, especially when you're at a branch campus. It's there's a crosstown agreement that Brandywine has with where the detachment is, which is St. Joseph's. So
Okay.
St. Joseph's has the actual detachment and program, but there's a select amount of they're called crosstown agreements that St. Joe's has with schools around. So I know Abington also has a crosstown agreement with St. Joseph's, and that radius of kind of agreements that St. Joe's has, it extends really out to like Rutgers, Camden. So it's really big. There's a lot of schools that funnel into St. Joe's. And so you basically reach out, you email the cadre at St. Joe's, and they're like, all right, well, we need you to fill out this stuff. And then you got to go to like, NSOP, which is, just like new student orientation. And so that's kind of where you start. And I think it's definitely like it's a time commitment for sure. Because, there's certain standards that you need to meet, but it's very early in the morning. So, especially since you have to commute there and stuff, it's a lot of 4:30s, sometimes earlier. And so that's twice a week, Tuesday, Thursdays. So you'll head out there and, you work out, and then there's a class after that you take with the program. And that's just kind of like you learn about the Air Force, and then as you go on and advance through the program, you get more in depth with that learning. So that's kind of a basic overview of how that works.
Yeah.
For sure.
Seems like a great opportunity,
Definitely. And I didn't even know that Brandywine offered something like that. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. And what will that transition look like up at University Park?
Yeah, so that's, kind of more logistics with that is basically at St. Joe's, it's all on their behalf, but you just have to let them know, like, hey, I'm going here, and they'll send pretty much everything that they have on you over to Penn State.
Oh, okay.
And then you'll get involved with the Penn State people, and they'll kind of help you and get acclimated with that detachment. So really, the transition is from what I've heard, obviously I haven't done it yet, is fairly seamless. And so then it's basically just like you pick back up at University Park, and you kind of abide by their schedule, obviously, and you just keep going. And I guess the best part is, too, it's a little less early.
Right.
Because you live right there. So
Right. Yeah. Not as much driving around and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
No
seems like
Route
the
1
perfect,
traffic.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like the perfect opportunity that you're kind of taking advantage of here.
Yep.
So I guess outside of your major and stuff like that, as you know, extracurricular involvement is key for a well-rounded college experience. And you wasted no time getting involved. What kind of drew you to become involved with the math club? Because we know you're co-president of the math club.
I know.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all started out in Calc 1, which was the second class of my college career, really. It was like 9 a.m. something, and then 10 a.m. Calc, pretty much. And my one professor, Dr. Pez, she sent out like a sign-up sheet and was like, we have a math club. If you're interested, sign this sheet. And she was...
Sign the sheet.
Yeah, pretty much, like, that's what it was. It was very, like, low-key, like, put your name down.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, what else am I doing? So I put my name down, showed up, and I originally started out as a little minnow, a little treasurer moment. I really did like nothing. I'm not gonna lie. I was like just there, and if they needed something, I'd be like, okay, I'll do that.
I got this, guys.
Yeah. So our president, Ava Elliott, she was awesome. She honestly, best president ever. And we had great support with Dr. Pez being our advisor. And so that's initially how I got involved, and then Ava moved up to University Park, so we had to, fill in positions and stuff. And I was like, well, why not? So it's me and my buddy Tom. He's my other half, arguably my better half. So he really takes lead on a lot of the math club things that we do. And yeah, so he's really like boss man. I'm kind of just like his sidekick. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good decision I made, and I definitely made a lot of buddies in the midst. So
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So can you describe what your role looks like and maybe some types of activities you guys do throughout the year?
Yeah, so obviously we run meetings. It's usually bi-weekly. We try for a common hour, and we, we'll show up, and we don't actually really solve any math problems, okay? Like, misconception.
You would think.
Let's get ahead of that, right? Show
What
up.
goes on in the math club?
Right.
Someone please let me know.
So on the DL, on the DL, bring kind of my Vegas roots with me. So last year, I definitely taught everyone how to play poker.
Oh, wow.
With no monetary value. I'd like to make that very clear.
Okay.
So we are not gambling in the math club.
We're not gambling here at Penn State Brandywine.
Right.
In the
This is
classrooms.
not a gambling class. We actually just say it is a lesson in statistics and probability. So, I mean, if you really think about it, mathematical knowledge is being learned.
Wow.
So,
You could argue, absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So we like to just do stuff like that. We'll also play games where it's kind of, a little bit more strictly math with, there's a game like called 21, stuff like that. Just numbers, mental math. And outside of our meetings, we like to go to math conferences, which honestly kind of sound boring, but they're not that bad. You end up it's a great way to network for sure. You meet obviously a whole bunch of other professionals in the mathematics field, and also just not even necessarily pure mathematicians. There's a whole bunch of mathematic branches that you can go into, so you kind of get a good idea of, if you want to go full send with math. Wow. Number one, wow.
Yeah.
Number two.
Never heard that one before.
Yeah, rare thing to say. But number two, you kind of get to, learn about what exactly they do and how it's not just, again, like, solve this integral, okay, boom, like, why did I do that?
Right.
But you can be like, oh, wow, that's actually really interesting how we can do stuff like that. And so, yeah, these math conferences, you can also get have an opportunity to, like, present at them, be a student presenter. I've presented a couple of them. My first one was at a little local, what is it called? Little local conference called Epidel. So it was pretty low key. And it was a student section, and let's just say my public speaking skills, I thought they were better. So
Not quite prepared for that one.
no,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
I mean, there was this one slide, and I looked at it, and I was like, what even is that? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what that is.
We're just going to
Next
push through
slide.
this one.
Yeah, so then after I fumbled over that slide, we continued to fumble until we
Perseverance.
fell across the finish line.
Okay. But you crossed that finish line.
But we crossed the finish
But-
line.
exactly.
And
Okay.
then we ran the
Okay.
race back again on a little bit of a grander scale. Went to JMM with Dr. Yaturo, Dr. Pez, and this other really cool drummer dude named Arnav. And so we went there. I actually presented again, and this time it was like a little bit more like, oh my God, I'm gonna pee my pants in front of all these people, because it was not just in front of like students. It was in front of like really cool people that actually knew what they were doing with math, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, don't ask me a question. I literally know the scope of what is in these slides. Like, please.
Let's not go
please.
off the script, guys.
Yeah, I about mentioned like 4 times
Yeah.
I was an engineering student just so they wouldn't ask. And I only got like one super hard math question. I think I was like, yeah, that's really awesome. I think that'd be really cool to look into. I had no idea what he was saying.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad that there was interest in the presentation. But that one for sure went better. And thank God it did. So, yeah.
Nice.
Steps, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like the math club is definitely a great organization to get involved with.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys seem like you do a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, again, we definitely did a little bit more last year. We're
Okay.
still trying to, pick things up.
Okay.
And just, it would, just anything we can do, we
Yeah.
like to do.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, really, again, at the end of the day, math gets a pretty bad rap. And it really comes down to how it's presented and whether or not you're willing to put the work into learning it and actually having an open mind towards, oh, this is actually kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like you guys make it fun. So that's
Yeah.
what
We
try.
matters.
Yeah,
We
and,
try.
I remember when Dr. Yatoro was on, you
Yeah.
know, just hearing about how integrating music and drumming with math, I
Right.
thought that was really cool. And
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
a totally new perspective
Yeah.
to look at math that I hadn't before. so-
Exactly, and unfortunately, you have to go through the nitty gritty of like algebra 1,
Yeah,
Right,
algebra
right,
2,
right.
Canvas
geometry.
assignments.
I know,
Right,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like
Right.
great.
Yeah.
This is a hexagon. What am I doing with it? Like, but then it's like once you figure that out, you can do super cool stuff with like I do strings and string art with like parabolic string art and then residue diagrams, and it
Wow.
actually is pretty weird, but it somehow relates to like cybersecurity encryptions
Wow.
and stuff like that. So yeah, you can get like pretty once like you just kind of go down a rabbit hole of math, like
You're there.
things can
You're
get
there.
pretty cool.
Things are getting pulled in left
you
and
know
right.
what?
Yeah.
It's like at this point you're in the rabbit hole, just staying there.
Yeah, staying there and explore, right?
Yeah.
All right. So aside from academics, we hear that you're quite the athlete as well. What made you decide to play soccer at the college level?
Yeah, so I've played soccer since like about 3 years old.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it has been quite the grind up and down. And honestly, when I was coming to school and all that stuff, I was like, well, do I really want to play? Like, I don't know. And I figured I was going to Brandywine, so I checked out, the roster or whatnot, and I just sent an email to the coach like, hey, bro, like, here's
up,
here's a little clip if you
Yeah.
want anything. And then it was like, next thing you know, I'm on the phone, and I'm like, okay, wow, cool.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here I am going playing soccer, and I was coming off of a knee injury. I had an ACL tear my senior year.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was coming off. So that first season, I actually didn't play. I would practice a little bit. So I didn't play the first season, and it was a pretty brutal first season. We had quite the record and quite a lot of softball players that decided to put their soccer cleats on.
Okay. All right. Dust off the cleats.
Right,
Interesting.
exactly.
Okay.
So we had a lot of people that literally had never played soccer in their life before, and it was quite the show on the field, to be honest. But at the end of the day, like, it brought us closer. We would go get, like, destroyed, and then on the bus we'd be like, so where are we going? Like, what's next?
Yeah.
That's
now
awesome.
I'm close with a couple of the girls on the softball team, so it definitely helped in that regard. And then sophomore year, finally got the chance to, go out and play. And I was, playing center midfield and stuff. And it's really nice just having, like, that group of girls who, is, like, the incoming freshmen, you can kind of help them, guide them, and, just help them acclimate to kind of a new setting of, like, okay, we're going to go play soccer for a little bit, and you're going to have to, like, travel around with us and do all this stuff. And then you're going to have to go study on top of that.
Right.
So, like, just providing, like, tips like that, support
Yeah.
like that for the freshmen was really awesome. And then being, that sophomore kind of, again, since we're mostly a 2-year school, a lot of the players transition up to University Park, so it's really like our team max is at like sophomores. So like when we're going up and playing against like these 4-year colleges, it's like,
Right.
okay, wow, you are like really, really tall and like built and
A little bit
like
older.
literally
Yeah.
like 22 years old. Like, okay, let's do this.
Wow.
So yeah, it's definitely tough, and definitely like you kind of gotta get in that mindset of I am here, I can do this, and if I put in the work, then I can get to where I want to be. And so being a sophomore, again, pretty much like the oldest that we have on the team, it's just nice to be able to kind of be put in that leadership position and be able to facilitate that mindset and really help other people get through that initial block. So that's like just really outside the field is just as important as on the field. And talking about on the field, just being that person that's not going to like go scream at the person who just screwed up, because at the end of the day, it's like it's a 90-minute game.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you are bound to screw up.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was nice to kind of, again, going back to ROTC, being able to put some of those things that I learned onto the field and play really at the end of the day. And unfortunately, didn't get to finish the season. Screwed up the knee again. Seems to be a theme. But we had some fun.
Yeah.
We had a good run, and it was a lot more organized than the last season. I would say that was largely due to we had good coaching. He actually coached Alex Nestor. He went up to Washington State. He got hired to coach, be an assistant coach up there. So we literally had some D1 quality up on our
There you go.
field. So it was nice. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I know you touched on it a little bit about helping the freshmen navigate,
Yeah.
kind of balancing athletics and school. So how do you go about managing your academics with the athletics?
Sometimes it is like literally just a dumpster fire, and then the dumpster's on fire and you like push it down the hill, and again it's kind of like that same thing of like I'm fumbling and falling across the finish line, except this time like I'm riding on a lit dumpster down a hill across the finish line. But again, it's always about making it to the finish line. Sometimes it's like, all right, that I just like got by, like literally just got by, but sometimes it's like, yeah, you did it, right? And I think a lot of it is being able to find that balance between, okay, this is like, yes, I'm here for soccer, but at the end of the day, like I'm not doing, like I'm playing for fun and because I want to get better at this skill, but at the end of the day, it's like I need to focus on my academics. So I think like really that dumpster fire should not be your entire season, right? Like that should just be a couple times. Like say you have to go travel down to Maryland, you're not going to get back until late and you have like, 4 exams that week, right? Like that sucks. Like that is just brutal. But it's like, it's finding that time, instead of like, I don't know, just sometimes you got to prioritize over your friends, which like sucks, right? But you do have to prioritize that. I mean, there's been a handful of times where it's just been like, I have to go do this. Like, I have to go study. It would be sometimes on the bus, just doing things that you have to do instead of messing around with your teammates. But I think just finding where you, can, I guess, like, make the time, and then B, finding like a support group where it's like, oh, hey guys, I can't hang out today. Them being like, oh yeah, that's all good. Like I get it. Instead of like having that group of friends that's like, oh, come on. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like finding the right people and then also just doing it, right? Like even if you do have like that one friend that's like, come on, like stand your ground. Like you gotta get it done. I mean, I've always had my moments of like, all right, whatever, I'll just do it later. But like,
we all do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Balance it out.
Yeah. But I think like that's a big thing. So I guess the dumpster fire should always be like more of a like 100-meter sprint than a 5-mile run.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Do you at least get some me time? You balance that in there?
Yeah. Somehow I shove that in there.
Yeah.
It's usually a little bit of a smaller chunk, but again, going back to, kind of that nerdy essence, my me time is when I'm like literally just cranking out some math or just doing that. Like that's where I find joy in. And I think that also can help, just finding what you actually like to do.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah. So I'm glad that I've been able to find what I like to do. And it definitely sometimes takes a little bit of trial and error. But just, again, remember what you're doing is for your future self. And so you should really do it. Because, I mean, your friends, like if they're your true friends, they'll always be there for you.
Right.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And I think this is a great point to kind of go off onto the last question here. So as someone who has traveled across the country to attend college, and is involved with, so much on campus, what advice would you have for students who may want to do the same?
Yeah, so I think it was definitely a long haul, but it was worth it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I got to live, in 115, UV13.
That sounds nice.
Just absolutely.
Sounds nice.
Right about now.
I guess,
right
because
about
it is
now.
kind of cold today. Yeah.
I mean, that wind does suck. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But like, eventually it gets really like
I could see
you are
that, yeah.
roasting. It is just
Yeah.
like the sun is out and you don't want to be out, but sometimes you gotta do it.
Yep.
So it's like, having that experience and then being like, all right, well, let's change it up and throw some green into our lives, instead of some, the Dust Bowl of the West.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think like just realizing that sometimes you need to take a little bit of a leap to really be able to learn anything. So it's, it's obviously, it kind of sucks leaving your big support system as like my family is, I love my family and I miss them all the time. It's normal. But realizing that you making that jump is something that really can help you be more flexible and learn to adapt differently. Because I mean, none of my friends came out here with me. Like I'm here and that, it could be like my first semester was kind of a slow start. It took me a minute to find who I really jived with. But like once you find that group of people, like it only goes up really. Like, of course you have like, a little bit of the, you're sometimes down, but really in the grand scheme of things, like you're up. So I think just realizing that there's a lot to be learned, and then just immediately once you get, acclimated yourself with where you're at, just get involved on campus, right? Because you really can't meet anyone if you just are a hermit all day.
It's true. Absolutely.
And again, even if you just study your entire time, you're not going to learn people skills. And as someone who really is not the best, right, with people skills, still learning, still trying to understand people, I think it's just important to actually interact with humans, because like companies are not just going to strictly hire you because you did well in school. There's always that genius that is like, oh my God, you're really smart. We want you. I don't care if you don't talk to anyone in your life, right?
There's always just stick you in a cubicle and just do your work.
Shove them there. They don't need anyone. But like in most of the cases, you need to know how to, read and understand people. And I think that really only comes with actually doing that on your own time. Yeah. So if you don't get involved with anything, it's like, how are you going to actually exercise that, muscle?
Yeah. It's all about, well-roundedness and,
having a
balance, having a good balance.
Right.
And lots of pots.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You are really feeling this St. Patrick's Day, aren't you?
I know. By the way, guys, it's St. Patrick's Day here. When
If
you're
you
watching
couldn't tell,
this,
we're wearing green here.
it'll be
except
April
Penn State
Fool's
here,
Day when
but-
you guys are wearing this, my second favorite holiday. So
Yeah.
a little bummed. Just had to throw that out there.
Yeah, of course. Had to touch on that today. Feeling festive. So,
All right. To change things up a bit, we're going to head into a segment that we like to call Rapid Chattin', where we ask you some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
All right.
you sure you're ready?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I'm kind of a chatter. I'm kind of a chatter. So
All right. I know that's like the big challenge.
yeah, this might be like not rapid.
Yeah. It's
all
kind
right.
of like unrapid.
It's
maybe?
an unrapid
It's an
rapid
unrapid,
fire.
Yeah, this might
Okay.
be like a 35-minute mile.
Okay. We'll see where we can go. We'll see what we can do.
All right.
All right. Easy one first. Who's your
Okay.
favorite soccer player?
I guess she's retired now, but Carly Lloyd, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, master of her craft, and she loves her craft, and I think that's admirable in anyone. If you love what you do it,
Yeah.
and if you really love what you do, go master it. Like,
Absolutely.
awesome.
yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Okay, question 2, one we like to ask everybody. If you were stranded on a desert island, what celebrity would you call for help?
Honestly, I think there's some days I'd really enjoy to be stuck on a random little island, and I think all I would need is to call some reinforcements for the vibe. So I really think I'd phone Jennifer Lawrence. I feel like she's like just down to earth, always
Hands down.
always
This
like
might be the best answer we've ever gotten.
like honestly, her just in every like circumstance I've seen her in, which obviously is pretty much the media, right?
Yeah.
But like she seems like a vibe. She seems like she's just there to have fun and like listen.
Absolutely.
She can have all the fun she wants. I can do the heavy lifting, but as long as we just have a good time.
You got a good
go.
laugh out of that
Yeah,
one for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'll fill the vibe.
Yeah.
All right. So, being as you're from Nevada and have experienced quite the winter here, do you now prefer the sun or the snow?
The snow.
Really?
Crazy
Yes, I know.
Wow.
I know.
Ava's really not gonna be happy
I'm
with
really,
this one.
I'm really done with the snow.
All right. What's like the
needs to be
hottest
outside.
you've baked in?
Definitely not like 100.
Okay. 100 and humid though? Like
Yeah,
is it a wet heat? Yeah.
Yeah, like I have not been
Which-
to Nevada, Arizona, any of that. I've been
Yeah.
to California, but I haven't been over there, so
Yeah.
I can't really talk yet.
Which, okay, yeah. But I mean, like, the humidity sucks. So, like, honestly, you're a trooper for still saying sun. But I guess just, there's 2 seasons in Nevada, and it's winter and summer. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's like, all right, here's like a week of fall. And then it's like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Just a little taste.
I
That's
think
about
it's
it.
like pushing 85 degrees there now.
Really?
Yeah. And which
Ava's
is
like,
like,
shut me off there right now.
Yeah, that's your bliss.
That's mine.
But I think the snow, just my skin too, for sure. I mean, I literally am like a different color when I come back from being in the heat all summer.
Yep.
So it definitely, and it takes its toll on your body. It's like, it does
sure.
not matter what you do in the sun. You could sit out there and you are just done. Like,
Yeah.
There's
you
like
just want to
no
go to
really
bed.
there's no beach.
No, especially,
So-
well, we have like a tiny little Lake
Okay.
Mead in Nevada, but even then it's like it's like 40 minutes away and
Yeah.
not exactly like your ideal beach.
Right.
It's like more of like, let's go boating. Like,
Okay.
Which is fun. Don't get me wrong.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
It definitely is. But I mean, again, roasting on a boat, like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like,
I see where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You've
I
had
mean-
enough of that.
yeah. So the sun definitely has its perks, but the snow, I think, when it's out of the way, like
Yeah.
it's definitely different to see. And I think it's a lot more, I guess, kind to the body. But
Yeah.
I could agree with that.
Yeah.
I can accept your take.
we have actually snow an hour away from my house. There's a ski mountain. I know this is really random, but
What?
Yeah, so people don't realize it, but Nevada is like not flat. I live in a valley, so
Interesting.
I'm surrounded by mountains like 360, and so
Wow.
really like the rare moment we get rain out there in the winter, like it'll just snow all
Wow.
on the mountains and stuff.
kinda
So
cool.
we get snow up there, but yeah, so it's definitely like an odd climate situation
Yeah.
out there. But yeah, so it's really kind of like that all throughout, like, you know, Nevada, Arizona, Utah. I think Nevada and Arizona are your two pretty warm states.
Yeah.
But it's weird how they both get snow
Yeah.
in certain spots.
A taste of all extreme weathers.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really don't know what's happening. But.
Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. All right. Question 4. What is your favorite space-related movie or TV series?
I'm gonna have to go Interstellar on
I
this
knew
one.
you were going to say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen Interstellar.
All right, so
That's
that's
a great movie.
just a wrong answer.
I know. Everyone's been telling me to go watch it.
It's
and,
really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like there's rules of engagement on Interstellar. Like you can only
What?
watch it at night.
Okay, so
Like,
I didn't know this.
Like, well, for me, this is
Okay.
my rules
Okay.
of engagement.
All right,
If
okay.
anytime I'm like, yes, I'm gonna go tackle Interstellar for the 75th time, like it's like I gotta watch it at night.
Okay.
And then it's
Gotta be
like,
dark?
It's gotta be dark,
Okay.
and the bigger the screen, the better.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Just because it is epic.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to give
It's
that
a really
run.
cool movie.
I'm
Yeah.
really going to have to.
I did have to like look up some things after.
Yeah.
It definitely deserves a rewatch. So
Okay.
yeah, I think like a rewatch is
Yeah.
pretty. It's standard. I think because it's like the first time you watch it, you're like, what is going on? Like,
yeah, I
okay.
lost.
This is a lot
Lost in
happening.
space.
Literally.
And then you give it a rewatch, and you still might not even understand the
Okay.
time slippage and all that physical science, but like
Okay.
it's pretty epic. It's nice too because it's like I love the science in it, but
Right.
like
Yeah.
there's also like the other part of like more of a kind of interpersonal relationships
Yeah.
are like really important in whatever you do. So like there's two sides of it. There's you're kind of like you can be like, ooh, this is really interesting to think about
Yeah.
science wise,
Yeah.
or like the other route. So it's a cool movie. 3 hours
Yeah.
though, so make
Oh,
sure
that's
you
all right.
like
Block it
pencil
out.
it
Yeah.
in.
I've had like a wicked
She's a wicked gal.
marathon.
Oh
so
jeez.
it's,
All right.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah.
Got the base for
totally.
it.
Train.
Yeah.
all right, final question. Best memory that you've made so far at Brandywine?
Oh wow. Okay. So definitely happened this past semester. It was we had a soccer meeting towards the end of the season, like our end of season meeting, and me and this one of my buddies, she's a senior on the team. We had this brilliant idea of going to the store and just like buying like 5 pounds of grapes. And so we got out of this
Wait, red or green ones?
both.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, all right.
both.
Okay,
So
all right.
we got these like five pounds of grapes, and you're like, why did you go buy 5 pounds of grapes? So we got out of this meeting early, and so we left, and all of the returners were still in there, and we took these grapes and just pelted them at them, and it was honestly hilarious, and it was just a great memory because it ended up turning into this whole like big war. I don't even know what
war of the
happened.
grapes.
It was
War
like
of the grapes.
7
Yep.
p.m. It's dark at that time, right? Like
That's actually pretty
so
funny.
That
we,
is amazing.
we just were like launching grapes at each other, and they didn't always feel great. Like
yeah,
the green
yeah,
ones were really hard.
Oh yeah.
Like
Crunchy grapes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like it was pretty brutal. I mean, it was dirty sometimes too. Like I got pelted right in the head. Like it was
Wow. It was intense. Yeah, it was intense.
It was not friendly, but it was, and it was great. So that's kind of my little. I'd say like that's a top memory for me.
Oh, that's great. That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a great memory.
And then your second would be being on this podcast, right?
Well, of course,
yeah, exactly.
Of course. I mean,
only like what else would there be?
Nothing else. So
Exactly.
just
like,
we are chatting. That's
like,
it.
When I heard of this podcast, I'm like, I want to chat.
Yeah, right?
Memory.
And we were chatting. We were chatting up
Good
today.
chat.
Absolutely. Well, Addy, thank you so much for joining us on We Are Chattin.
Yeah.
We loved hearing about your unique Penn State journey, and we think it'll really resonate with our listeners. So
Awesome.
we wish you the best of luck next semester.
Appreciate it. Well, yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Good times.
It's great.
Awesome. Thanks, Addy.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. We are done chatting for today. This podcast was recorded in the Penn State Brandywine Makerspace Media Production Studio. We Are Chattin' was made possible by Penn State Brandywine Strategic Communications and the Brandywine Launchbox. Remember to like this podcast and stream it on wherever you get your podcasts.